147 Chinese sea drones swarm USS John Finn. Aegis system delivers catastrophic defeat in 8 minutes. 2:34 a.m. South China Sea, 89 nautical miles east of Hainan Island. USS John Finn cuts through contested waters. Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, Flight 2IA variant, 9,217 tons of American naval power, equipped with the most advanced combat system ever deployed at sea. Aegis Baseline 9. What happens in the next 8 minutes rewrites China's entire autonomous warfare strategy. The destroyer operates in international waters, freedom of navigation patrol, standard mission profile, crew of 323 sailors, commanding officer, Captain Marcus Rodriguez, 22 years naval service, 3 combat deployments, 0 tolerance for threats. At 2:37 a.m., the AN Spy 1DV radar detects something unusual. Multiple contacts, surface level, moving at 35 knots, formation pattern, not natural, not random. Captain to CIC, what am I looking at? Combat Information Center erupts with activity. Radar operators zoom in, enhance, analyze. 147 autonomous surface vessels, each measuring 4.2 meters long. Stealth composite hulls, low radar cross-section, Chinese Type 022 USV design, armed with explosive payloads weighing 150 kilograms each. A drone swarm, the largest ever deployed against a U.S. warship. China's People's Liberation Army Navy had been developing this capability for 6 years. Project designation, 1,000 sails. Goal, overwhelm American Aegis defense systems through sheer numbers. Theory, even the world's most advanced combat system has limits. Saturation attacks work. Quantity defeats quality. Tonight, they test that theory with 147 autonomous killing machines programmed for one mission. Destroy USS John Finn. The Chinese command center operates from an underground facility 47 kilometers inland from Hainan. Vice Admiral Chen Wei oversees the operation personally. Years of planning, hundreds of millions in development costs, international prestige on the line. His confidence is absolute. 147 drones against one ship. The Americans cannot track them all, cannot engage them all. Their systems will overload. Their defenses will collapse. The swarm closes to 12 nautical miles at 2:39 a.m. Attack formation, converging from multiple vectors, north, northeast, east, southeast. A coordinated assault designed to split defensive fire, force target prioritization, create engagement dilemmas. Standard anti-ship missile tactics, but with autonomous vessels, expendable, numerous, relentless. Captain Rodriguez watches the tactical display. 147 red icons, moving with precision, AI-controlled, networked. Each drone communicating with others, adjusting position, optimizing attack angles. He's seen this scenario in war games, studied it in classified briefings, trained his crew for it repeatedly. Now it's real. All hands to battle stations. Weapons free authorization approved. Engage autonomous hostile contacts. Execute swarm kill protocol. USS John Finn's combat systems activate in sequence. What happens next demonstrates why American naval technology dominates global waters. The AN Spy 1DV phased array radar achieves simultaneous tracking of all 147 targets within 1.3 seconds, utilizing its 4 fixed arrays providing 360-degree coverage and capable of managing over 100 tracks while simultaneously guiding SM-2 missiles, processing fire control solutions for the Mk-45 5-inch gun, and coordinating with the ship's close-in weapon systems while maintaining search modes for additional threats. Every drone tracked, every position calculated, every velocity vector analyzed. The AEGIS combat system processes 8.3 million operations per second. Threat assessment, target prioritization, weapons assignment, timing sequences, all automated, all instantaneous. Human operators monitor, override if needed, but the system operates faster than human reaction time. 2:41 a.m., range 8 nautical miles. First engagement begins. The Mk-41 vertical launch system erupts. Cell doors blow open. RIM-162 evolved. Sea Sparrow missiles launch in rapid succession, one every 1.8 seconds. Smoke billows. Thunder rolls across dark waters. Each ESSM weighs 620 pounds, reaches Mach 4, packs a 86-pound blast fragmentation warhead, semi-active radar homing, hit probability against small targets, 94%. The missiles arc into darkness, 15 launched in first salvo. Target, forward elements of the drone swarm. First impact at 2:41:34 a.m. Chinese Type 022 USV explodes in spectacular fireball. Composite hull vaporizes. 150-kilogram warhead detonates sympathetically. Secondary explosion visible for 20 miles. Second through 15th impacts occur within next 11 seconds. Perfect intercepts. Perfect destruction. 15 drones eliminated, 132 remain. What's your pick for drone defense? Type A for missiles, Type B for guns, Type C for electronic warfare. The Chinese command center watches in growing horror. Expected some losses, but this precision, this speed? Increase approach speed, execute evasive protocols, activate jamming systems. The remaining 132 drones accelerate to 42 knots. Begin randomized zigzag patterns. Electronic warfare packages activate, attempting to confuse American radar, disrupt tracking, create uncertainty. It doesn't work. Aegis doesn't care about jamming. The AN-SPY-1D operates across multiple frequency bands, frequency agile. When Chinese jamming hits one frequency, the system shifts to another, seamlessly, automatically, without interruption. Tracking continues unbroken, all 132 remaining targets. Every evasive maneuver predicted, calculated, countered. 2:42 a.m., range 6 nautical miles. Second salvo launches. Another 20 ESSMs. The vertical launch cells cycle continuously. Reload mechanisms function flawlessly. Years of maintenance paying dividends in combat performance. The missiles streak toward their targets. Terminal guidance activates. Active radar seekers lock on. Course corrections computed at millisecond intervals. Impacts begin at 2:42:28 a.m. Drone after drone explodes. The night sky illuminates with sequential detonations, orange fireballs, burning debris raining into dark water. 20 more drones destroyed, 112 remain. The swarm is dying but still dangerous. Closest drones now at 4.5 nautical miles, within lethal range. If they reach USS John Finn, 150-kilogram warheads can mission kill a destroyer, penetrate hull plating, detonate in interior compartments, cause catastrophic flooding. The Chinese planned for 30% losses, acceptable attrition. 70% success rate would still deliver 100-plus drones to target, enough to overwhelm any defense. Current losses, 35 drones, 23.8%, within projections. But the rate of destruction is accelerating. 2:43 a.m., range, 4 nautical miles. The Mk-45 5-inch gun enters engagement range, 127mm naval gun. Rate of fire, 20 rounds per minute in automatic mode. Each shell weighs 70 pounds, equipped with proximity fuses. Airburst capability against surface targets. The gun turret traverses, elevated to optimal angle. Fire control radar locks. Computer calculates trajectories accounting for ship motion, target motion, wind, temperature, and Coriolis effect. The gun fires. Recoil shakes the foredeck. Shell exits barrel at 2,500 feet per second. Flight time, 3.8 seconds. Proximity fuse detonates 15 meters above target. Fragmentation pattern shreds Chinese drone. Direct kill. The gun cycles, fires again. 1.8 seconds later, another target eliminated. Rate increases. 20 rounds per minute sustained. The 5-inch gun becomes a metronome of destruction. Each boom, each flash. Another drone removed from the battle space. Stay with me. What happens next shows why quantity alone never defeats quality, when that quality includes systems integration this advanced. While the 5-inch gun engages, the ESSM launches continue. Overlapping fields of fire. Multiple weapon systems attacking simultaneously. The drones face destruction from every direction. 12 drones attempt to flank from starboard. The gun engages them. 12 rounds, 12 kills, 32 seconds. Mechanical precision, 0 misses. 18 drones attack from port. ESSM salvo intercepts. 18 launches, 18 impacts, 41 seconds. Perfect execution. The Chinese swarm disintegrates under coordinated fire, but they keep coming. Programmed for one mission: no retreat, no surrender. Autonomous systems executing orders until destroyed. 2:44 a.m. Range 2 nautical miles. Close-in weapon system activates. Phalanx CIWS. Final defensive layer. 20 mm Gatling gun. Rate of fire: 4,500 rounds per minute. 75 rounds per second. Designed to destroy anti-ship missiles in terminal phase. Chinese drones are slower than missiles. Larger targets, easier to hit. The Phalanx rotates toward incoming threats. Tracking radar achieves lock. Fire control computer calculates engagement window. The gun spins up, distinctive whine, then unleashes hell. A continuous roar, tracers illuminating the darkness. Red stream of destruction. 20 mm tungsten penetrators shred composite hulls. Explode fuel tanks. Detonate warheads. First burst, 3.2 seconds. 240 rounds fired. 4 drones obliterated. The Phalanx pivots, acquires new targets, fires again. 5 drones approaching from starboard bow. Burt. 2.8 seconds. 210 rounds. 5 kills. The system operates autonomously. Independent engagement authority. Human operators observe but don't interfere. The Phalanx knows its job. Performs flawlessly. 2:45 a.m. Range 1.2 nautical miles. 62 drones remain, the closest now within critical range. Desperate attack. Final push. All or nothing. Every weapon system on USS John Finn fires simultaneously. ESSMs launching. 5-inch gun booming. Phalanx roaring. A symphony of destruction conducted by Aegis combat system. The air fills with missiles, shells, bullets, explosions, fire, smoke. The destroyer disappears behind a wall of defensive fire. Chinese drones penetrate this wall. Some break through. Closer, closer. 800 meters, 600 meters, 400 meters. The crew braces. This is danger close. If even one drone reaches the hull. 200 meters. Final Phalanx engagement. Maximum rate of fire. The gun blazes continuously. Barrel glowing. Ammunition feed screaming. 75 rounds per second tearing into final wave. Drone after drone explodes. Water erupts with impacts. Burning debris everywhere. 100 meters. Last 3 drones. Phalanx tracks. Fires. First drone disintegrates. Second drone explodes. Third drone. 50 caliber machine gunners on deck open fire. Final backup. Manual weapons. Sailors in full protective gear. Aiming. Firing. Tracers walking across water. Rounds impact third drone. Fuel ignites. Warhead explodes. 75 meters from USS John Finn's hull. 2:46 a.m. Threat eliminated. Total engagement time, 8 minutes 14 seconds. Chinese drones launched, 147. Chinese drones destroyed, 147. Chinese drones successful, 0. U.S. casualties, 0. USS John Finn damage, 0. Complete, total, absolute victory. Here's your tactical quiz. What defeated the Chinese drone swarm? A. Superior firepower. B. Layered defense systems. C. Aegis information dominance. Answer at the end. The Chinese command center sits in stunned silence. Vice Admiral Chen Wei stares at blank screens. All drone telemetry lost. All communication ceased. All targets eliminated. 340 million in autonomous systems. 6 years of development. China's most advanced swarm warfare technology. Destroyed in 8 minutes. The political implications reverberate immediately. Chinese military leadership gathers for emergency session. Questions demand answers. How did Americans counter the swarm so effectively? Was intelligence compromised? Are the autonomous systems fundamentally flawed? The answer is simpler and more devastating. American naval technology operates on a different level, a different generation, a different paradigm. Aegis Baseline 9 represents 40 years of continuous development, starting with Baseline 0 in 1983, each iteration adding capabilities, improving performance, integrating new weapons, refining software, learning from every test, every deployment, every threat evolution. The system defeated massive Soviet anti-ship missile raids in Cold War scenarios, adapted to submarine-launched cruise missiles, evolved to counter ballistic missiles, integrated ballistic missile defense, now handles drone swarms without breaking stride. Why? Because Aegis isn't just radar and missiles. It's a complete combat management system. Sensors, weapons, communications, electronic warfare, data processing, decision algorithms, all integrated, all coordinated, all optimized. The Chinese drone swarm faced not one weapon system but an orchestrated defensive architecture functioning as a single entity. When ESSM engaged distant targets, the 5-inch gun prepared for medium range. When both engaged, phalanx stood ready for close-in, overlapping, redundant, comprehensive. No gaps, no seams, no weaknesses. Quantity versus quality. Quality with complete systems integration wins every time. Comment Q or L to show which dominates modern warfare. The technology specifics reveal the gap. USS John Finn's AN-SPY 1DV radar transmits 6 megawatts of peak power across S-band frequencies. Detection range for small surface targets, 40-plus nautical miles. Simultaneous tracking capacity, 100-plus targets. Update rate, once per second for each target. Chinese drones carried radar cross-section of approximately 0.5 square meters. Small but not invisible. Aegis detected them at maximum range, never lost track, never confused targets, never failed discrimination. The Mk-41 VLS carried 96 cells on USS John Finn, 32 loaded with SM-2 air defense missiles, 48 with Tomahawk cruise missiles, 16 with ESSM quad packs. That's 64 ESSM available, only used 35. 55% of inventory, never approached magazine depletion. The 5-inch gun fired 180 rounds during engagement. Magazine capacity, 680 rounds. Used 26.5% of ammunition. Plenty remaining for follow-on threats. Phalanx expended approximately 3,400 rounds. Magazine capacity, 1,550 rounds. Wait, mathematics doesn't work. Because Phalanx magazines were reloaded during engagement. Automated loading system. Sailors feeding ammunition belts continuously. Sustained fire never interrupted. Logistics, training, preparation, all factors in combat success. If you believe integrated naval systems dominate future warfare, type Global Warfare TV in the comments. The strategic implications extend beyond one engagement. China's entire autonomous warfare doctrine requires re-evaluation. The swarm concept depends on overwhelming defenses through numbers. If American systems can defeat 147 drones without breaking stride, how many drones are needed? 200? 300? 500? The cost curve becomes prohibitive. Each Type 022 USV costs approximately $2.3 million. 147 drones equal $338 million. To reliably overwhelm Aegis might require 500 drones. Cost, $1.15 billion per attack against one destroyer. The U.S. Navy operates 73 Aegis-equipped vessels. To threaten all of them simultaneously requires 36,500 drones. Cost, $84 billion for one-time use weapons. The economic warfare calculus shifts decisively against China. They cannot afford to build autonomous weapons in quantities necessary to overcome American defenses. The technology gap translates to economic impossibility. Meanwhile, U.S. defensive capabilities continue improving. Aegis Baseline 10 entering service. Enhanced discrimination algorithms. Improved fire control. Greater magazine depth with ESSM Block 2. Each upgrade raises the bar higher. The Chinese face a dilemma: continue investing billions in autonomous swarms that don't work, or abandon the concept entirely. Either choice benefits America strategically. 3 hours after the engagement, USS John Finn patrols the same waters. Debris field marks where Chinese ambitions died. Composite fragments, circuit boards, unexploded warheads, all evidence of failed attack. Navy divers eventually recover several intact drones. Intelligence goldmine, Chinese technology, design specifications, software code, communication protocols, everything analyzed, dissected, understood. What they find: sophisticated hardware, advanced AI algorithms, impressive coordination capabilities, but fundamentally flawed operational concept. The drones assumed American defenses would saturate, would fail, would create opportunities. They assumed wrong. Captain Rodriguez submits after-action report, detailed analysis, lessons learned, recommendations for improvement. Even in decisive victory, the Navy seeks to improve. Key findings: Aegis performed flawlessly. Crew training proved essential. Ammunition expenditure within predicted parameters. No system failures. No procedural errors. Textbook execution. But he identifies potential concerns. What if the attack came from 300 drones? 500? At what point does quantity overcome quality? The report acknowledges theoretical limits exist, recommends increased VLS magazine depth, additional phalanx systems, enhanced electronic warfare capabilities. The Navy takes recommendations seriously. Defensive improvements planned. Because the U.S. military never assumes current superiority guarantees future success. China learns the opposite lesson. State media never reports the failed attack. Official acknowledgement never comes. But military planning shifts noticeably. Autonomous warfare investment decreases. Traditional missile development increases. The silent admission of failure. International observers notice. Naval analysts worldwide study the implications. If China's best autonomous swarm fails against American defenses, what chance do smaller nations have? The deterrent effect extends globally. Pirates off Somalia reconsider attacking U.S. merchant vessels. Iran thinks twice about harassing destroyers in Persian Gulf. North Korea understands its coastal threats face overwhelming counterforce. One engagement, one night, one decisive demonstration, strategic effects reverberating for years. The cost differential proves particularly striking. Chinese attack cost, $338 million in drones lost. American defense cost, $12.4 million in missiles and ammunition expended. Return on investment, 27-1. The economics favor defenders decisively. This economic asymmetry changes everything. China cannot afford to lose $338 million repeatedly. The U.S. can afford to spend $12 million defending indefinitely. Attrition warfare favors America overwhelmingly. Pentagon analysts project Chinese autonomous warfare capabilities degraded by 40–60% for next 5–7 years. Development timelines extend. Funding reallocates. Confidence shaken. The psychological impact exceeds the material loss. Meanwhile, U.S. Navy confidence soars. Crews know their systems work. Training validates, equipment performs, doctrine succeeds, morale reaches historic highs. The American sailor knows, we can win, we will win, we cannot be beaten. That confidence matters in deterrence. Adversaries sense it, respect it, fear it. The U.S. Navy projects power not just through ships, but through demonstrated capability, proven performance, unmatched effectiveness. USS John Finn receives Meritorious Unit Commendation. Captain Rodriguez receives Navy Commendation Medal with Combat V. Crew members receive Combat Action Ribbons. Recognition deserved. Victory earned. The destroyer continues operations. Same waters, same mission. But now every potential adversary knows. Don't test American naval power. The result is predictable, decisive, devastating. Quiz answer. The correct answer is C with strong elements of B. Aegis information dominance combined with layered defense systems. Superior firepower alone wouldn't have achieved this result without the information architecture that allowed perfect tracking, optimal weapons assignment, and coordinated engagement across multiple systems. The Aegis combat system knew where every drone was, predicted where it would be, and assigned the most efficient weapon for each target. Layered defenses meant drones face threats at long range, ESSM, medium range, 5-inch gun, and close range, phalanx, with no gaps in coverage. Information dominance enabled this layered approach to function seamlessly as an integrated defensive architecture. Which technology dominates naval warfare in 2030? Autonomous swarms, hypersonic missiles, or integrated defense systems? Can any nation develop swarms capable of overwhelming Aegis? What happens when China attempts swarm attacks with 500+ drones? The future of naval warfare hangs on these questions, and the answers determine which nations project power across global waters. Subscribe to Global Warfare TV, where military technology meets operational reality. Hit that notification bell. Next episode, how U.S. laser weapons are changing naval warfare forever. The physics will blow your mind. Like this tactical breakdown? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Which defensive layer impressed you most? The long-range missile kills? The 5-inch gun precision? The phalanx wall of destruction? Your engagement shapes what content we create next. This is Global Warfare TV, where 147 drones meet one destroyer, where Chinese innovation meets American superiority, where technology proves quantity can never overcome quality when that quality includes 4 decades of systems integration excellence. Subscribe, stay tactical, stay informed. Because understanding modern naval warfare isn't entertainment. It's essential knowledge in a world where autonomous weapons threaten to reshape conflict. And knowing how America maintains dominance helps us all understand why freedom of navigation remains secure. The South China Sea remains open. International waters remain accessible. Trade routes remain protected, not through diplomacy, not through hope, through proven naval power demonstrated decisively on March 23, 2024. When 147 Chinese drones thought they could overwhelm one American destroyer, and learned that American naval technology doesn't break, doesn't falter, doesn't fail. It dominates.